Hey. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the stream, thank you. Thank you for, hey, lights going up. Thank you so much. So many activities. I'm going to get to them. Man, thank you guys so much. I will definitely call them out here in a little bit. I think we're in the middle of a hype train, it's hard for me to tell from this view. But anyways, man, thank you guys so much for tuning in today and for joining the stream. If you're new to the stream, thank you. Thanks. Welcome. It's pretty laid back stream. So a couple of things. We usually talk about things we're working on, tech projects we're excited about, things we're struggling with, or things you just want to share. And so if you have something like that and want to share it, definitely throw it in chat and we'll talk about it. We'll kind of start from the top and go to the bottom. If you're not new here, which I see some familiar names, I was going to say faces, but names. Thank you so much for coming back. Appreciate it. Run roughly about an hour and let's do this. I'll start with weather. I usually start with weather, even though it probably doesn't apply to anybody but maybe two people in the whole entire stream. But the weather for Minneapolis is where I'm at. It's pretty cold. Like today it dropped down to 3 degrees. So 3 to grizzles. It's kind of chilly. It's starting to feel like real winter around here. We've been a little bit spoiled. So yesterday we got a little bit of snow, and then it got really cold. Not as much snow as we got earlier in the week. That week, I don't know. We got like 6 inches of snow and it started out wet, and I think I shoveled like 1,000 pounds of snow, which I don't have a snowblower, so it's just me out there with the shovel. Not that I have a huge house or yard or anything like that, city lot, so not much, but still. Enough to make you sore. But anyways, that aside, if you have something you want to share, show it in chat. Wow, what am I even saying? If you have something you want to share, definitely throw it in chat and we'll get into it. I might as well talk about what I'm up to this week, or what I'm going to be doing shortly after the stream. I think I decided today that I'm going to cut everything over and move to my new rack. It's kind of been a tough decision. Like everyone's probably like, "Whoa, hey, yeah, like you didn't do that already?" Well, it's this weird paradigm where like I create tech content, and I want to document it, but at the same time, I want to migrate all of my stuff. Hey, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. I'll get into events. So I want to migrate everything, but at the same time, I kind of want to capture it. And I think I decided last night, you know what? I'm just gonna go all out and migrate everything. So that means after the stream, I'm shutting a lot of stuff down. I'm gonna I'll do my best to keep some of my services up because a lot of people depend on them. So like my documentation site, my short links, like everything's gonna go down. My blog, my bots, my everything. So it's gonna be interesting to try to figure out. And I think I'll do my best to not keep things down too long. I don't know, a lot to figure out. I originally thought maybe I'll like shift to the cloud temporarily, and this, I just started, it's just like the ultimate scope creep. Like, oh yeah, so let's figure out hybrid cloud real quick and shift stuff, to some cloud temporarily, and then come back at some point. And I was like, oh, okay. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to be doing shortly after this. I think I'm going to stress test our relationship too, because everything will be down. Even the internet will be down here in this house. So anyways, I have a backup access point that I'm going to spin up real quick and put in place with, similar SSID so that all of my devices will connect to it. Well, some of them, because I'm only going to have one SSID. And then go from there. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know. I might live tweet or whatever. I don't know what it's called. I'm going to create probably a thread every step of the way and just create it on Twitter probably later on. So if you're bored on Twitter, maybe you'll see it. And I'll document it that way too. And anyways, I want to show this off at the end of the year. Every year I do, kind of my homelab tour I started a couple of years ago, and I thought, hey, I'm in this bind again where I need to get everything in place. Last year it was remodeled the whole entire server room. This time it's remodeled the whole entire server rack. So anyways, long story short, that's what I've been working on. The work's about to happen here in a couple hours, I think. So anyways, let me know what you guys are working on. Throw it in the chat. Let's talk about it. And then we'll get to it. Real quick, Yeah, dark mode in here. Thank you. There's two themes I like in here. Dark mode is definitely one. Light mode is kind of like, ooh, that's pretty bright. And then there's one other, my Tokyo Nights. I really enjoy. Actually, the Hawaiian Sunset is pretty good too because I rarely see it. Anyways, that aside, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you earn channel points for being in the channel. More for I think chatting. Earn points over time. With those points, you can spend them. They're absolutely free. They mean nothing other than like you can change the light colors in here. So let's get into events because we had a hype train in the beginning. There was so much going on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Who was. I'm not going to go into who was here first, but I'm going to call out some of these events. So these happened shortly before I started. So I'm going to start here. Foolproof Selector. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Eglanger. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Geeky Ran. Gifty Ran. Thank you so much. Gifty Ran. Gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Dude, thank you so much. Gifted 1 to Senior Pesco, 74 Pilot, Easton Co 7, Fadence, and Helium Factory. Enjoy your gifted sub from Gifty Ran, Geeky Ran. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it. CBN Sandwich has resub tier 1, 6 month streak. Thank you so much. Half a year. Thank you so much. How's it going, CBN Sandwich? Hello. How are you? Naked Truth. I like it. The Naked Truth has subscribed. Prime, thank you so much for spending your Prime sub on me. Appreciate it. Jenna Ryan, resub, tier 1, 25 months. Let's go, man. 2 years and 1 month. Thank you so much. Allspring has resub. Prime, 6 months. Thank you so much. Back on the sub wagon. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Allspring. That one's a lot of consonants together that are hard for me to say. The AWLSRING. I'm gonna go with Allspring. If I'm wrong, let me know. And then Jorg Nan resub Prime 3 months. 3 months. Thank you. Yo. One for each month. Appreciate it. Ilud. Hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Resub tier 1, 27 months. 27-month streak. Dude, Ilud, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. If you don't know Ilud, he's one of the mods in Discord in here, so thank you so much. Appreciate it. Man, 2 years, 3 months. And time flies, doesn't it, man? And Scorpion, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. So, wow, that was a great intro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. None of that is ever required, but I greatly appreciate it. So let's hop into chat and see what you guys are up to. And see who was here first. I see who was here first. I didn't catch it on my one chat thing, but I caught it on the other. JCX, yo. Not sure this will be seen, but hope you all beautiful peoples are doing good. It was seen by me. And thanks for being here. And you were actually first. Hey, Daz 211, subscribe to me. Prime sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I can't get both of those lights to go off at the same time. And long story short, there's a weird mounting. I have a weird setup, and in that weird setup, I have a weird mounting solution, which sounds super weird in itself, but it's not the greatest, and so I can't angle this IR transmitter to hit both devices at once. It's like rare that it happens. So, anyways, we'll keep trying. PC Geek, how's it going, man? Speaking of mods and speaking of long time, man, how you doing? There we go. Now they go at the same time. And I touched nothing, so it's super weird. Anyways, PC Geek, dude, thank you so much. Another mod for both Discord and here. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Tier 1, 27 months, man. So 2 years, 3 months. Let's go. Holy cow, 27 months. I agree, man. How's it going? Good to see you. So let's get into chat. Appreciate it. All the warm welcomes. Appreciate it. I do. Let's see. My chat. There we go. All right, it's gonna work. So Geeky Ran, how's it going? Yakto, how's it going? Lotta hey, how's it going? Hey y'all, not sure if my earlier message got in. Yeah, did JCX? You were here first, and so I see it. So chat. I don't know. There's some period of time where people who join the chat can only see, I think, a few minutes back, but me, I can see, I think, hours back. So you're first, for sure. And you said it at 2:30, so you were on it. Look at you split it down first. JCX smoked everyone. And then Mafney. Oh, Mafney, that's weird. Okay, so Mafney, all right, I'm getting in sync now. Mafney was second, though, but I don't see it up here, though, because, like I said, these two are a little bit out of sync. Geeky Rant, either support you or buy more filament. Yeah. Hey, I'm okay with buy more filament because that's fun stuff and you get to print stuff and do cool things with it. But I do appreciate it, man. Appreciate it so much. Woody, do something. Oh, this is what you're working on. So I was asking what you're working on. So you want to do, either you're telling me or you want to do something with Ranger and Tailscale. I think you mean Rancher and Tailscale. That's funny that you type in Ranger because Ranger is one of the words that for some reason my brain auto completes all the time. I think it goes back to my RPG days of playing games. And so whenever I type range or RAN, my brain just fills in Ranger. Anyways, I think you mean Rancher and Tailscale, and that might be autocorrect. I don't know if that's you or me, but maybe. Yeah, maybe. Let me know. Naked. Naked Truth. I like it. Super excited. Been watching your videos for a while, and the first time I've had the opportunity to catch you live. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. Let me know if there's something you're working on or excited about you want to work on. Because yeah, I'd love to know. Woody, there we go. Rancher and Tailscale. Yeah, let me know. Is this something you're working on? Because I would love to know if it's something you want me to work on at some point. I might do that at some point for sure. Sounds awesome. Let's see. CBN Sandwich, how's it going? Currently setting up a Discord server for my company's customers. First time ever. There's a lot to go through. Yeah. So well, man, this is like new territory. Sounds like for you, obviously, but also for me, hearing that, a company outside of, that you're setting up a Discord server for a company. I think that's awesome because, you have a couple of choices. You have Teams, you have Slack, you have Discord, then you have a handful of other ones that most people probably haven't heard of or aren't using. I'm a fan of Discord, as you guys know. I think it's great for companies. I think it's great for communities. Yeah, their authentication model is kind of nice. Slack's is a little bit weird. You can have an email address per identity, and then you end up in this weird hey, I have 4 or 5 accounts because I have 4 or 5 email accounts for companies and past companies, and yeah, they smoothed it out They've smoothed it out a little bit over time, but still kind of odd. But I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Discord, and that's awesome. You're setting it up for a company. I would say just go with the defaults. Go with the defaults with everything. I know it's easy to get in there and start adjusting knobs and everything and tuning everything, but I would say go with the defaults until they don't work anymore. Because Discord's defaults for setting up a server are pretty good, like AutoMod and stuff like that. And then tweak as you see fit. But pretty cool. Yeah, that is awesome. Setting up Discord for a company. Awesome. I love it. Penak Gamer, 9. Thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Let's see. Lickety Splitted. How's it going, man? How's it going? Good to see you. Working on Python scripts for Plex, Ombi, Overseer, Totally, Sonar, Radar, LiDAR, Radar. All the R's. Man, that is awesome. So working on Python scripts. So I assume you're doing some automation stuff to automate. I mean, everyone can probably figure it out, but automating your media, whether that be capturing, updating, metadata, all the things. But hey, that sounds awesome. That sounds pretty fun. I haven't gone down that path yet. Everyone says it's awesome, and I think that's how a lot of people go real deep on homelab stuff. Is they start with a Plex server, a media collection, and then it expands exponentially, and then they go real deep on this automation piece that you're doing right here. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't done it, and I know what most of those things are. Still don't understand why everything ends in R. I think we talked about this in Discord once, but yeah, it's I'd love to know your setup if you can publicly share your setup or your thought process. I would love to hear more about it. But good to see you, dude. Good to see you, man. Yakto, rebuilding my HA proxy nodes with Keep Alive D for failover and prepping my rack for C7000 blade chassis showing up on Monday. This is Yakto Northwest, I think, is the data center. That is awesome. So HA proxy nodes with Keep Alive D for failover. Awesome. So I totally get that. You Keep Alive D. You're creating a VIP for all your HA proxy nodes. whether that be load balancing or reverse proxy or both. And then you're putting VIP in front of that so you can fail over gracefully. And then prepping for your C7000 blade chassis. Oh my goodness. I still want to know what you're running, but at the same time, I don't, because I like the mystery. So even if I ask you, never tell me what you are running. I mean, like the purpose. Is it a business or something? I like the the mystery of it all. But man, awesome. We need to see more pics and see how your server rack has evolved, because I haven't seen it in a while. Naked Truth. Just finished setting up my first Unraid server. It's been a trip. Awesome. Let me know how that goes too, because I haven't done I played with Unraid. I played with like the 30-day trial, I think, when I was evaluating NASs, and it's pretty awesome, and it has a great community around it, and does quite a bit as far as running containers and storage and everything like that. And they've solved a lot of hard problems like hardware pass through and all of that. And then they have a pretty decent model for storage, basically maximizing the amount of disk space and making it super easy for you to add disks later. So anyways, I'm a huge fan, even though I don't use it. You have to let me know. What would you struggle with? What did you learn? GCX Life, not doing much myself. Still recovering from a rough time ever having the booster. Totally floored me yesterday. But about 75% back to normal, I'd say. Awesome. Well, yeah, it can do that. It did that to me. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Hope you feel better for sure, because it's a weird feeling. Kara, oh man, I got to get this one. Kara Taus. I'm going with Karatos. Ignore my terrible pronunciation of your name. I apologize. Hey, y'all, how's it going? Happy Saturday. I agree. Happy Saturday. How's it going? Flickus bad? Let me see. Herpaderp sour. Great timing. Just about to upgrade my K3S cluster. Speaking of, I just did it. Like I was literally hitting the last upgrade as I was going live, because I had it in a terminal and I was kind of doing it off to the side. But I did the same thing. So yeah, so I'm on K3S 1.28. I don't know. I just released it on Twitter and talked about it, but I kind of did the same thing. I'm on .8, 124.8. But yeah, it's did you are you going with 125 or 124? And I asked because like I'm still kind of shy to jump on 125, because on 125 a lot of the deprecation warnings are no longer deprecation warnings. Things are deprecated. So I've been a little shy on jumping on the 125 boat, not because of anything I'm doing, but because of all of the other packages or deployments or Helm packages that I'm using might not have solved the or migrated over to non-beta APIs for Kubernetes. So I'm a little shy on that. I'm staying on 4 for a little bit. Usually a hop and go on latest and greatest, but when things get deprecated, it's where I'm kind of like, how much pain is this worth? And do I really want to back out? So I'm giving like a lot of the things that I use extra time to get there, to migrate over to non-deprecated APIs for Kubernetes. But yeah, it's super fun. I'm a huge fan of running Kubernetes at home, as a lot of you know. Hey, Takano, dude, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Risa Prime, 26 months. Email provider just blocked my business email due to abuse hacked. I'm stressing out. How's it going, man? That stinks. Email provider just blocked my business email due to abuse hacked. What does it even mean? What does that mean? Abuse hacked. I like it. I like how it's that underscore on there too, as if like, that's some error code. Yeah, that stinks. Yeah. So hopefully they can unblock it. But thanks for the continued support, man. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Woody, how do you like your new server rack? Hey, I was just talking about it. I like it. I would like to be in it. I would like to know if I like it. What I've done with it so far, I love it. I love it. My only criticism is I wish I had an easier way to swap out the casters on the bottom, and that seems like so, tiny compared to the value I got and what I think of it. But I wish I could swap out the casters easy. It has a weird pattern for the bolts that screw into it, and it's totally the only reason why I want bigger casters is to raise it off the ground a little bit more so that my robot vacuum can go underneath, which is like, who does that anyways? Like, no one. So, but yeah, it's great so far. It took a while to set up, and it's great. And so I this morning I started planning out like running my power cables. And I thought about how I'm going to label all of my network and stuff just so I can put it back in place. It kind of stinks. I got to tear down my one rack, move it into the new rack, and then hook everything up. So but that's what I'm doing today and tomorrow. So I hope I get it done today before midnight. We'll see. We'll see. As you know, those things take a long time. If you've ever built a rack or racked anything, it takes it takes a lot longer than you would think. Like if you think it's going to take a couple hours, you might as well just double what you think, and you're going to be right, and you still might be under. So, anyways, I like it. I would love to be in it, and then I'll have a great opinion about how well it suits my needs. Because so far, I only have my UPSs in there now, and I had to move them around the other day. Moving them around was pretty easy, but yeah. We'll see. We'll see if I'm not cussing at the end of that day. We'll see. I don't usually, but a few swears might slip out this evening. We'll see. Budney, good day. Still wrapping my head around vGPU and getting it to work the way I want. Cool. So you're dividing up your GPUs to be able to access them from guests on a hypervisor. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome stuff. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I haven't done it. I understand the concept, and Craft Computing has a bunch of awesome videos on how to do that with Proxmox. Haven't done it myself. I pass one through, and if I have actually two virtual machines that can take advantage of it, but one at a time. And so I'll shut one down and then move the device virtually to the other machine and start that up. But yeah, let me know how this goes, because that's something I would love to do, is just, split up my GPU into multiple pieces, which is exactly what I think you're trying to do. So it sounds awesome. And Craft Computing has Jeff. He has a couple tutorials on that. It's pretty awesome that he figured all of that out. Hector Sports, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Let's see. Bloodlight, Dankcraft. I don't get any emojis, so I wish I could see them here, but they don't render there properly. But how's it going? GamePen 23, learning Kubernetes, finding it hard to understand how networking actually works. Also, join the club. Having fun with Minikube. Not sure I should use it. Yeah, well, hey, Minikube is a great little project. It's not even that little. It's a great big project, I guess I should say. So Kubernetes networking, it is tough. It is tough. I don't even know what to say about it. You have an internal network for your pods that, that's only for internal pods. You never use those IP addresses really for anything. The way that you do that is with DNS inside of Kubernetes, which is core DNS usually. And the way that you communicate with, pod-to-pod communication is through services. So you create a service that points to a pod or a deployment group. And then that's how you access those services by the service. The Kubernetes object called a service is really a DNS entry. Think of it like that. So if you just say, hey, all Kubernetes services are really just DNS entries. I'm totally dumbing it down because it could be a lot more. Then it's kind of easier to get your head around. You're like, okay, well, I don't refer to other pods by IP addresses. I refer to them by services. And I need to create a service entry to then reference that. So it's fun. And then real quick, Boomer, Milko, me, Tyro, Pita. I have no idea what that means. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. But then Minikube. Yeah, so Minikube's a great place to start. Like I did Minikube a while back. That's how I learned Kubernetes initially. When I worked for a large corporation, part of the training was, hey, you had to spin up Minikube on your machine and do this activity. Hey, Edster, thanks for the resub Prime, 10 months. How's it going, Edster? Good to see you. Thank you so much. But yeah, I had to spin up Minikube on my own machine and deploy some services and deploy some deployments to it and show proof before I could have access to the company's Kubernetes cluster, which was kind of cool. I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I'm like, how do I make this thing just work? But it was cool that they did that. And so Minikube is great for local development. It's really simple to spin up a Kubernetes cluster on your own machine. Outside of that, I would probably look at something, a little bit more scalable. If you're thinking about running it on multiple machines and creating a real cluster. Not that Minikube isn't, but most of the time it's used for local development. But look at K3S. And if you need help with that, I have a K3S Ansible playbook that'll spin it up. I just updated it last night, and it will spin up an HA Kubernetes cluster for you. So pretty cool. But yeah, good luck for sure. But Minikube is good to get started for sure, because you can spin up a cluster on your own machine locally and check it out. Hey, Blarg, thanks for the sub, Prime sub. Thank you so much. And Neon Reese, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Wow, yeah, look at those lights, man. I love it. Senior Pesco. Hello. Thanks for the gifted sub chatter. Oh yeah, that was Randy. I think that was Rand. Karataus. Second time watching, first time seeing this from the start. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for being here in the beginning. Appreciate it. Lickety splitted. May need some tips on working on Python and SQLite. Yeah, I've done the Python piece. I haven't done Python and SQLite. I totally get it. I totally understand it, but I haven't done a ton of it. If you can use some kind of ORM, I would definitely do it. So object relational model, if you can use some ORM over the top to where you don't really need to know SQLite, you just need to be able to instantiate, objects from a model, I would go that route. I can't give any recommendations on Python stuff with ORMs because I do a ton of JavaScript and TypeScript and Node. And so look for something with an ORM. I'm sure there's tons of it out there because Python is like the most popular language in the world. And maybe that's not even the pattern for Python. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm relating this back to, .NET, C#, TypeScript type stuff. But ORMs, some people love them, some people hate them. If you have a database background, I think people hate them. If you're a developer background, then you kind of like them because you don't have to learn, that SQL language. You just write it, in an object-oriented way so that you don't have to learn SQL. But people with database backends usually don't like it because sometimes the SQL it creates isn't as performant as what they would write themselves. And this is just an observation that I've seen. But yeah, look into it. And there's tons of people, I think, in our Discord who've done a lot more Python than me. I've created one open source thing for Broadlink that's Python. And that's the extent of it. And that took a lot. But that was my first time really trying Python. So, but yeah. Hey, Philippe, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, thank you, Geeky Rand. Links. Yes. Let's see. CBN sandwich. All right, I gotta get in here. I gotta find one. Techno Tim, can I share my list disks Linux script? Shows device, model, serial, and its USB. Yeah, you can share it. Absolutely. I don't know if you'll be able to share it in here. The auto mod and all the stuff in here might block it. But you can tell me what it's about and describe it. If it's a link to somewhere, it'll probably get blocked. I'm just going to tell you right now because links, because auto mods and bots. But if you want to share the actual project you wrote and it is somewhere, share it in our Discord. Absolutely. We have a section just on community projects, and otherwise you can just post it anywhere you want. But if you want to have a longer discussion or promote it a little bit, something open source you're working on, throw it out there. If it's just a script and you create a gist, throw it out there, or just put it right in the channel for sure. Let's see. CS Cyber. I'm going with Cyber. Please capture it. I'd love to see it, even if it's timeless. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, yeah, good point. It's not like I don't have a camera. Like, why wouldn't I just capture it? Yeah, maybe I will, because then that'll be just a little bit of a, yeah, thanks. Thank you for pushing on that a little bit. because I was kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, thanks. I might capture it maybe in a lower res because I don't want to run a 4K camera for about 6 hours of footage. That'd be a lot. It'd be a lot. My TrueNAS would be hurting at the end of the day. But yeah, maybe I will. I'll definitely like create a thread on Twitter and definitely keep adding to it, and hopefully not swearing, but adding some context to what I'm doing for sure. Naked truth, migraine, very similar words. I agree. I hope I don't get one. I hope my migration goes smooth. I have planned this one out a little bit more than I usually do. Hey, Bill Nash, resub, tier 1, 11 months, sup nerds. Bill Nash always with the sup nerds. How's it going, man? Good to see you. But yeah, this migration, I put a little more forethought into what I usually do, which is just like wing it. And I usually wing stuff. I'm a winger for sure. And if I'm not winging it, I'll be your wingman as you wing something. So I'm kind of, I have a bias towards action, kind of figure it out later type thing. If it goes wrong, if it goes right, then it justifies why I just wing stuff. If it goes wrong, then I try to rethink about, some of my choices in life. Anyways, but yeah, I think it'll be okay. We'll see. I know for sure, like a lot of my services will go off. So I'm going to post something in Discord, like maybe an announcement to say like, hey, like, and they might even be things you never even knew I was hosting in my house. We'll see. But I am going to post something talking about like these things might be down. Here's where you find them in the meantime. I'm going to do some DNS magic so you don't know everything's down. But the other stuff will be absolutely down because I don't have a contingency plan at the moment. No hybrid cloud yet. Let's see. I got to get this one. Exackai Toya. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Just migrate to capture all the issues you find. Yeah, you'll learn loads of the troubleshooting session. Yeah, that is great. So just migrate to capture all the issues you find. Yeah, I think so too. I can. One thing that I have to keep reminding myself: label everything. Like label everything. Even things I think I'll remember, don't. I need to label everything. And the downside to this is like I totally lost my label maker. I have no idea where it is. Like I've been searching for it for I don't know, a month and a half. I'm at the point where I think it's just gone. So. No label maker right now, which kind of stinks. So I think, I don't know, if you have a better idea than this, what I'm going to do is get, painter's tape, the blue tape, and, just wrap around each network cord or power cord and just write what it is on there. I got nothing better. But if you think of something better, let me know. But even labels don't stick well on power cables. What I've done in the past too is, put the little label, put it, so it runs parallel with the cord, wrap it, and then put, masking tape around it or packaging tape. So then it stays on. It's not permanent, but it's pretty sticky when you take it off. But I figured that's how I could label it too, but I don't have a label maker. Then I was like, I can just print out labels. And I'm like, no, this is like scope creeping. I just need to know how to plug things in. So I think I'm going to do the painter's tape route. Let me know if you know something better. You guys probably done this way more than I have. Game Pen, first time here. Really like your content. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks, and thank you, Orbital Teapot. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. CBN Sandwich. Hello. That's almost all of them. Yeah. Lickety Splitted. Oh man, I'd see. Yeah. One day. Porns points. Kill some time before. Time kills you. I like it. Did you get rack studs? Techno Tim. I didn't. I went back and forth on like, should I get rack studs or should I not? And I thought about it. Like don't get me wrong. They look awesome. They're great. Like they are, super cool. I think makes installing things really easy. But I was just trying to like nothing against the product, but like when I put these things in here, I'm not going to be moving them that often. Yes, I might have to slide something out every now and then, but I'm not going to shuffle stuff around to where, I might need, an easier way to get things in and out. So I passed on them because I wasn't sure of how much I needed, and they're not cheap. I'll say it right there. So I was just trying to justify the value. So I didn't. I just made sure I have enough cage nuts, enough bolts and cage nuts, and that they all match. So, but I think they're great. If you have a a network rack or anything, even like a small server rack, and you're racking 3, 4, 5 things, yeah, that I think it's a great solution. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit old school, but last time I did it like professionally, which was a long time ago, I used cage nuts, and I thought, hey, these are great. That was my first exposure to cage nuts. Not rack nuts, but the actual metal cage nuts with the clips, and I thought, hey, what a great solution. And so I just kind of stuck with that. And plus, every time you buy a rack, they give you 50,000. So I'm kind of like, do I replace these? So, anyways, I would have loved to have tried them on something smaller, but long story short, didn't go with rack studs. I would love to, but I didn't want to spend $100+ on what I would need to fill up my rack. So anyways, long story, I'm like, I don't know. I'm justifying why I didn't buy it, but I had cage nuts. They look great and they work great. So we'll see. I might be regretting this choice because the one thing that Rack does help you with is helps you rack mount stuff or your rails with one person, which as if you've ever racked stuff and trying to get a rail in and trying to do it like by yourself, it's super awkward. So anyways, I would love, I guess I should have reached out to them, or I should have just, dropped $100 and tried it out. So yeah, and I've seen Tom's, my one concern was, capacity or weight, and I've seen Tom's video, and he threw all kinds of force on it. And so they seem cool. Abduram, how's it going? What do you think about Fireship's Hi Mom instead of the usual Hello World when trying a new language framework? I personally think it's awesome and funny because Hello World is so soulless. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Hi Mom. Yeah, maybe I'll start doing that instead of my Hello World. But but that was the first thing said on the internet, wasn't it? But yeah, no, I like the Hi Mom. Maybe I'll try it in some of my demos. But yeah, it makes you feel a little bit warmer for sure. It's not like, a robot talking to the world. It humanizes it because it's a human speaking to its mother. I like it. Scorpion, I had lost 2 at the same time in my Unraid server. Okay, so you lost 2 hard drives same time in your Unraid server. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that stinks. That stinks. Hopefully you didn't lose your data, and if you did, hopefully it was backed up, right? Right. Let's see. Jorgensen had family move into our basement, which is where my server rack is. Had to move Pi-hole and Hoobs for my Pis to Proxmox R720 because, funny enough, they were louder than my 720. Darn PoE hat. Oh, yeah. PoE hat fans. Hype low. Yeah, so, well, interesting. So you had your family move into the basement. Hope everything's okay. But then Hoobs, which is I think a hub for Home Assistant, and those 2 devices that you were using that were PoE powered with the hat were louder than your 720. Yeah, those fans on Raspberry Pis can be pretty loud. I have one. Fortunately, it's in my server room, so it kind of gets masked a little bit, but it can be loud. It can be loud for sure, but. That's funny. It's louder than your Dell R720. Oh, let's see. Kill some time before time kills you. To do Ansible stuff or switch configuration. Yeah, that I agree. I need to do some of that too. I'm kind of spoiled with Unify, and I'd love to try out their Terraform provider or an Ansible provider, some way to kind of treat my network configuration as code too would be fantastic. It's definitely in the backlog. Just need to spend some time on it. Hey, Blood Knight, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. JC Extra. Now, I'm now known as JC Extra. I like it on Twitch. No longer JCX Life. I like it. JC Extra. I like it. Extra. I like it. Nailed it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Naked Truth. I know it sucks. My here, I'll try to get the mic out of the way. Yeah, I know it always autofocuses on this, and I kind of hate it. So the camera that I have doesn't have the best like eye tracking and stuff, so it's really dumb tracking, and so it does autofocus on this. And with this microphone, I gotta kind of keep it close to my face so it sounds okay. Because if not, back here, it sounds kind of empty. Anyways, long story short, it's been doing this for a while, and I need to figure something better out. Because the eye tracking, for some reason, when it sees this big honking microphone right here, the tracking locks onto this and focuses to here. And I thought, well, I was, even when I was starting up, I was like adding the spot to focus like on my face. Still not working. Anyways, I apologize. Hey, thanks for the call out. I need to put some more time in that. And when I get my new camera, it'll have better autofocus tracking than this one does. So anyways, thank you. I appreciate it. Senior Pesco. I've been doing a lot of research for the past 1 to 2 months for homelab, and finally decided to buy a Dell PowerEdge R720. Speaking of 720s, so exciting to dive into homelabbing. Home speed. Yeah, awesome, great device. 720s, fantastic. It's a definitely a great start. You have a lot of compute there. You probably have a lot of RAM. You have a lot of room for expansion. So yeah. It's a beast machine. You might not need anything else unless you need, some more availability, because that is a beast of a machine. Even if you only had one CPU in there, or one socket, one CPU with however many, 24 threads, still a lot. So yeah, congratulations. Yeah, what are you excited about spinning up? What are you excited about learning? Let me know. Abdrum, yeah, I just talked about that. See, like the autofocus. Oh, the spot. Let me see. Let me adjust the autofocus in really quick. See, I have one more second, and then I will stop doing this. Okay, now autofocus. Now autofocus. Now autofocus. See, it's still gonna focus on the microphone though, unless I like move it down here. Anyways, I apologize. I'm planning to get a new camera soon. That'll help with the autofocus, or I just need to get the microphone like out of the way. Yeah, thank you, Geeky Rand. I agree. Hardware channel, a lot of good stuff there. Current gen games, I'm good. Thank you. I'm glad you're good. Look at, yeah, I apologize. Yeah, I know the autofocus is driving me crazy. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Like it's autofocusing, but I know it's always autofocusing on here. I wish I could mask and say like, don't autofocus on this thing. Anyways, well, I'll figure it out. It's been bugging me because yeah, the last couple streams I see it bounce back and forth, and it kind of drives me crazy. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Hey. Weston, how's it going? Good to see you. Hi, can I recommend a DNS service? I've got from my ISP a static address with 7 dynamic IPs that I would like to use for some services. My new enterprise first steps. Hi, can you recommend a DNS service? Yeah, I mean Cloudflare's one. Say what you want about Cloudflare, but it's great and it comes with a lot of additional features. Not just simple name server stuff, but you can actually use it as your reverse proxy to keep you protected. I'm a huge fan. I use it. But if you just want like, so there's that, right? So there's like external name servers that you can use for your services that you're hosting externally. But then if you want name resolution internally, that's both secure and anonymous, as anonymous as it can be, because it's really easy for your ISP to determine like where you're going and do reverse lookup. But anyways, if you want name resolution internally, Quad 9. I think Quad 9 is good. They're no logging, anonymous, security focused, and yeah, I've enjoyed them. So that's who I use. Yeah, Quad 9. So check it out. There are lots of other ones out there. I mean, some people use Google because it's fast and it's responsive. Some people use Cloudflare, which I think is all 1s. Google's all 8s. Quad 9 is all 9s. So But just I don't know if you mean just for name resolution or name servers for your services, but there's two right there. So I that's who I use. I'll say it publicly. I use my name servers are on Cloudflare. Used to be on Google Cloud or Google Domains. And internally for name resolution, for external services, resolution, I use Quad9. I think they're both great services. And there's lots of other ones out there too, but I enjoy it. All right, Lute, it's more artsy this way. Thank you. So yeah, so weird. I wish I could. Yeah. Let's see. The forum channels made me pull the trigger. Oh, all right. The forum channels. So that's what made you pull the trigger. I like it. Yeah. So So the forum channels. We have a couple now. We just redesigned one for pictures because Discord just added a new feature that allows a grid view for forums, which is pretty cool, and it's half the reason why we didn't switch to a picture version of a channel earlier. So awesome. How Weston? Oh, DNS service. Now I'm off in the weeds now. So dynamic DNS service. Okay, here we go. Cloudflare again. Cloudflare is a good one. That's what I use. And so yeah, if you want dynamic DNS, there's a handful of them. Really, it just depends on like if you own domains. If your registrar doesn't support it. You can point your domains at different name servers, basically say, hey, Cloudflare owns your name servers. And then from there, you can automate it with either scripts or with containers or with Kubernetes to keep that up to date. And so, yeah, Cloudflare, again, another one for dynamic DNS. And it's not like, I don't think they advertise like that they support dynamic DNS, but what they do support is changing your DNS via API. And so, it's just part of the API. Like you can update your records with IP addresses anytime you want. And so if you use a container, there's containers out there, or there's scripts out there, you can get a token. So you have to generate a token, obviously keep it safe, secure, not public. That will update your IP address if your public IP changes. So anyways, lots of containers or scripts or both. But if you need some direction or links, ping me or anyone, or just post it in Discord. Lickety split it. How's it going, man? Would be interesting to see using WireGuard Tailscale as a sidecar to apps for non-routed remote access. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that sounds awesome. So basically, what you're saying is, hey, if you have a container, your main container, say it's whatever, like you were talking about TDAR, radar, all of that stuff, you would like to see a sidecar, which is basically bolting on another container that would run WireGuard or Tailscale to be able to set the default route out through the VPN to somewhere else. And I think stuff like that exists. I think that's how PIA and private internet access, like people's, the public VPN services you can subscribe to. I think that's how they mount those is sidecars with Docker. I could be wrong. Well, in Docker, it's a stack, and Kubernetes, it's a sidecar, but all the same thing. But then what that gives you is the ability for two containers to seem as if they're one. Which means local host is local host on both of those, which is pretty cool. So you're not going through a network connection. You're actually, two containers actually think they're on the same host, where local host is equal on both of them. So yeah, I've done a ton of sidecar stuff, like for work, sidecar stuff for cloud proxy stuff, for Google stuff. You'll throw on a sidecar for authentication or stuff like that, or for proxies to be able to get out to restricted resources. But I haven't done it with firewall and VPN stuff, I should say. I'm sure it's possible, because I think that's how people set up a lot of their TDAR and radar stuff. But you would know more than me. I just listen to people, never actually done it, and I'm sure you looked into that. CBN sandwich. Too late. Already down the rabbit hole. I hear you. Isn't that the truth? All the time. Woody, I would love to do Rancher and Tailscale. Here we go. Together, if you have some time, let me know and we can work something out. Okay. I have been trying to get it running with no success. Okay. So So let me peel this back. What I think you want to do is basically have nodes in different clouds or different environments that you could manage using Rancher, and then use Tailscale to connect those nodes probably back to Rancher. So instead of doing this over the public internet, you're doing it, public internet but secure, right? Because you can do it securely with SSL and other things. But you want to actually do it with Tailscale to create, yet another tunnel to the Rancher host or the load balancer, so that you can control and orchestrate all your nodes wherever they may be through Rancher itself. But it sounds awesome. I mean, this kind of goes into what I've been talking about recently, even talking about earlier today with hybrid cloud. I have something that's in the backlog that once I get my server rack moved over, I would love to focus on is setting up a little bit more redundancy. I have great redundancy in my house, but not so great redundancy, once it gets to my modem or my DSL. And even if I had redundancy there, there's still, DNS magic I would have to do for a failover to be totally clean. So yeah, I've been considering, setting up, hybrid cloud. And it sounds like what you want to do, or maybe you want to do full cloud. So I would love to bounce some ideas off you, or open up a thread or whatever, and let's think about it. Because I've been thinking about it. I've been noodling on it in the back of my head. I have done zero implementation other than try to think about where things need to live. Because load balancers are really important, especially when it comes to external services, especially when it comes to Kubernetes and Rancher. And that's your entry point for almost everything. So super important stuff. But yeah, I would love to. Pinnack, are you doing Advent of Code or Advent of Cyber? Oh, this was at Advent of Code or Advent of Cyber? I'm not. I'm not. So I haven't done it. So I assume this is 25 days of either code or of cyber. I assume security during December. No, I should have done it. I'm still doing 100 days of homelab. I'm like a day 175. And during that time, I did 110 days of code. So I could probably layer on one more thing. But I can't. And I kind of mixed the streams on homelab and code stuff because it was like, I'm getting 2 for 1. I was kind of double dipping on some stuff. I'm writing code or infrastructure as code, and I'm counting it for both. Either way, I had 110 days of consecutive commits on GitHub. That's my longest streak so far. And then I've still been doing 100 days of homelab for homelab stuff. So no, it sounds awesome. What would you recommend I do? Code or cyber? I kind of want to lean towards cyber because I do enough coding throughout the day. That's actually my full-time job. I'm a software engineer for a startup. So I understand cybersecurity, kind of the idea of it, but there's so many layers to it. And I think it's something it would probably provide the most value if I spent more time in cybersecurity to understand what I don't understand. With software development, there's a ton I don't understand, but there's a lot more I understand than cybersecurity. So no, I didn't do it. I'm late. Can people start late? I don't know. But then on top of all that, I can't. I would love to, and maybe next year. But and again, I'm making assumptions that this advent of code or cyber is, the 25 days leading up to Christmas and doing something related. Totally assuming, but sounds awesome. I'll swing. This weekend, I'm going to try to put together PyKVM to control 4 of my servers. Awesome. I see PyKVM everywhere now. Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm lucky enough to have ILO or not necessarily ILO, but just integrated remote lights out on my servers, except for one. So that's where I've kind of been thinking like, oh, maybe PyKVM might be for me on my PC convert, because sometimes I do need to get in that machine when it's off. But I think I have another solution for that. That's kind of coming soon, but we'll see. JC Extra, I like it. It's easier to say. JC Extra. extra, read all about it. Hey, Mr. Tommy Boy, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. JC Extra, my new TrueNAS scale server is really janky. It's workarounds on workarounds. Somebody want to give me a Dell. It's okay. It's okay if it's a little jank. It's okay. I think Yocto is beyond homelab level. Yeah, he is. He's enterprise at home, and arguably some of the stuff I do is probably that too. But it's pretty awesome. He's it's pretty. It's thorough. I will say that it's definitely thorough. Woody, I like your tutorials in Rancher. Day have saved my life multiple times. Awesome. Love to have to go together on Rancher and Tailscale. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, maybe when I get into my hybrid cloud stuff. Truth for Life. Hey, Tim, it's great. I'm on a ship on duty and I get to watch this. Hey, thank you. Truth for Life. Hey, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for your service, first of all. And it is awesome. You're on a ship and you get to watch me. Man, out of all the things you could watch, though. No, I appreciate it, and thanks for the comment. I hope you're still around because this one, I've been trying to get through the comments. I hope you get to see it. Again, thank you for your service. I hope you get to get home for the holidays and see your family. And again, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And Nithorian, I watched your Nextcloud Kate's video, but I kind of miss how to properly deploy the database in Kubernetes. Is that a thing you'll ever record? Maybe I've done it at home. It's actually, so I'm running MySQL. I was running MariaDB, but that's a story for a different day. So I'm running a clustered MySQL in Kubernetes. I'm running a clustered Postgres in Kubernetes, and I'm running a clustered MongoDB in my Kubernetes cluster. So it is possible, but I've attempted it. I've attempted this. I don't even know how many times. Probably 5 times. And each time I keep going back to plain old Docker, and then I then I psych myself up again, and then I move it back into Kubernetes. Something doesn't work the way I think it should work, or I mess something up, so I go back to just Docker. I've done this so many times. This last time, I think I did it about 2-3 months ago. All of my databases are now in Kubernetes, and they're all HA, and they're working fine. They're working great. So, will I ever release a video? I'm not sure. What part do you struggle with? I have a lot of my manifests publicly, and if I don't, call me out on it, and I'll get them somewhere. But a lot of my manifests that I use for getting it running in Kubernetes should be out there. If they're not, let me know, and I'll anonymize them and make them easily to deploy. Make them easy to deploy. But if you're using the UI, that's a little bit different because that's hard. Not hard. It's a lot easier probably for the person using the UI, but it's harder to teach through because you actually have to talk through what buttons you have to click versus, hey, here's the command you run. So, but yeah, I do run them. I would start with one, unless you really want pain. If you want to go off the deep end and you want pain, try to run more replicas or a database cluster in Kubernetes. And it is nothing against Kubernetes, or it's nothing against you, or it's nothing against the solution. It's just kind of the state of things. It's pretty complex setting up databases with load balancers and getting replicas and everything working. And then, at the same time, things go wrong if they can't elect a leader because you have quorum. Or they can't replicate, or if you lose quorum, you could, depending on which database you're using, you go into recovery mode. So you got to keep 2 of the 3 up, or however many odd amount of nodes, so that they can elect quorum. So it's tough. I mean, think of Kubernetes, but with databases all inside of there, except for Kubernetes does a pretty good job electing a leader if they're all shut down and it comes up. Databases, depending on which one you're using, they don't. You got to go into recovery mode, and that's just Anyways, long story short, if you want to do it for one, super easy. If you want to cluster them, it's pretty tough. So, Naked Truth, Unraid itself is relatively easy to get up and running. I was not expecting to 16 hours parity sync that was required. Yeah, been there. I also learned that I chose poorly on my motherboard. It's part of the learning process. I hear you. Yeah, I've been there, not with Unraid, but with TrueNAS too. The parity syncing, it the first time it runs, you're just like, let's start moving some data, and you're like, oh, I got to do this for 8 hours straight. So, but yeah, I agree. Sorry about the poor choice of motherboard. I assume because you mean you probably don't have enough SATA ports. I'm just gonna go there. It's either not enough SATA ports or not enough RAM. I mean, the thing that we all want on motherboards. So, but good luck. I hope it goes well. You have to let us know how it goes. Hey, Rook Solette. Hey, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much for spending your Prime sub on me. Appreciate it. Thank you. Vlamath 314 or Pi. Hey, what do you recommend for production? Kates, K3S, RKE, other. Self-hosted, bare metal. Thanks. Wow, so many questions. Whose production? I think we have to answer the question first, like whose production? Because we all have a lot of choices, right? Organizations have choices. They have choices to self-host in their own organization, or they have a choice to self-host in the cloud. I know that doesn't sound like self-hosting, but technically it is. If you use IaaS and spin up Kubernetes by yourself, and you manage Kubernetes by yourself, that's self-hosting. Or you could do Kubernetes as a service with, GKE, AKE, all that stuff. And then there's home, which is what I do, where I do self-host, and on self-hosted infrastructure, I self-host Kubernetes, right? I don't have a service to manage my Kubernetes, although arguably you could say Rancher does that, but it doesn't really. So anyways, my recommendation, what I do, what do I do at home? Because I think that's going to be my recommendation. It's what I know the most. It's what I plan doing myself. So production, I'm speaking home production. So for me, it's K3S. It's K3S because it's easy, it's lightweight, and it does what I need to do. It's supported, has a great community around it, and I've had a ton of experience with it. And to be honest, I use Kubernetes all day long at work, hosted Kubernetes, and I use K3S all day long at home. And I haven't found any differences yet, and I'm using, whatever, deployments, cron jobs, services, you name it, load balancers, and it just kind of works the same. But that's kind of what you get with all these flavors of Kubernetes. Is a Kubernetes API that hopefully is pretty close to mainline Kubernetes. So then you have to ask yourself, how are they different? Some things have batteries included, which K3S does. You could take those batteries out. Those batteries could be, service load balancers. It could be, a reverse proxy or an ingress controller like traffic. Or Nginx, ingress controller. And so some flavors have that, some flavors don't, and you got to pick and choose. I will say that if you want to use, I use K3S. RKE 2 is also pretty good too. I run a second cluster here with RKE 2, which is Rancher Kubernetes, whatever the E stands for, edition. That's what I'm going with, which is also by Rancher. So Rancher created K3S. Rancher created RKE 1 and 2. RKE 2 is one that's supposed to be pretty secure. It adheres to, all the standards from the government, and that's why they're targeting this or claiming it the government edition of Kubernetes. And at the same time, it comes with Nginx ingress controller. So anyways, long story short, I would probably pick between those two only because I know them the best. But, there's as Ubuntu or Canonical has their own distribution too, and a lot of other people do too. There are so many distributions. I think there's more distributions now of Kubernetes than there is with Linux. But at the end of the day, you're going to get a Kubernetes API. It may include batteries. It may not include batteries. And sometimes you can choose whether or not when you spin them up if you want those batteries included. So my advice is go with one that has a large community support, or go with one, if it is for production with work, that has some kind of support model other than yourself, if you want to do that. But if it is for work, and it truly is for work, and you're going to do infrastructure as a service in the cloud, I would recommend just going with a hosted Kubernetes service, honestly, because who wants to deal with Kubernetes upgrades and node patching and all of that stuff when you could just manage, Kubernetes as a service? Anyways, that's a lot of choices, and I probably asked more questions than you asked, but those are the things I think of. If I was to start a business today, I honestly, I would probably go host a Kubernetes just because I can manage Kubernetes, but I don't want to manage Kubernetes. If I'm starting my own business, I mean, yes, I would like to deploy things to Kubernetes, and it's fun to do it at home and keep all my nodes healthy and create load balancers. But if I was to do, start a business today, I'd probably use hosted Kubernetes. After we were making a little bit of money, I would do self-host everything. Only because I would want to take that burden away from anyone else on the team to say, hey, Kubernetes is going to be solid. Now it's what do we implement inside of Kubernetes to create value? Because the value is not to keep nodes up or to swap nodes or add nodes. The value is whatever you have running on those nodes, if you're a software company or whatever. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, good question. Yakto, PC Geek, Lickety says it. Have to call it home data center for now on. Yeah, I agree. Yakto's is, home data center. YWS or Yakto, one of those data centers over there. Makes sense. I think makes sense. I think if you get to needing more than two-phase power, it's no longer a home. That's true. It is in his garage, but at the same time, what do you call it? Home data center. I like it. Home data center. Takano, in contact with them right now. No clue other than my automated invoice system causing it. Yeah, so you're spamming stuff on your automated invoice system. Oh, I see. Yakto, it's funny you say that. Moving to 3-phase. Oh, and the plans for next year. Okay, this is business at home. I like it though. I like it. I have no idea what phase 2 power or 3 power would get me. I'm totally oblivious to this because I haven't dealt with it before, but sounds interesting. Penguin Airlines, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. JC Extra. Let's see. JC. Oh, skip the Pizza Geek LMAO. Yeah, I totally agree. It's getting wild over there, but I'm signed up for it. Now I'm here for it, for this story of what's going on there. But don't tell me what you're doing with it, because I like to imagine and live vicariously through you in this huge data center in your garage. So, JC Extra. Hopefully it's not Symantec, Broadcom blocking it, since if you're not their customer, they refuse to reply. Real bad netizens. Oh, yeah. I've only dealt with Symantec out of those two companies, and it was a while ago to do real person verification for certificates when people used to do that for a company I work for. It was real weird. Needed a public cert for a company I work for, and I had to sign my life away and then talk to someone about the company I work for to get a certificate. This is before the Let's Encrypt days, where I'm just like, okay, let's. I own this domain. Just give me the certificate. So, anyways, I haven't had any experience, and not that that company Symantec was doing anything weird. It was just it was just weird having to verify my employment and asking questions about the company I work for to get a certificate, so they could put a stamp on it. I don't know. Mathos, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. I just set up a sub panel for that. Nice. Yeah. See, you guys know this stuff. Takano, they claim suspicious activity and then do a scan. Only services allowed to send emails on that email's behalf is Invoice Ninja, which is trusted. Nice. Invoice Ninja. I see that a lot coming up for self-hosted stuff. Penguin Airlines. Anyone else out there in management or team lead? Looking forward to the budget approvals and tech stacks upcoming for next year. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. I've got AWS managed, Grafana Prometheus, SOC2, HIPAA guided audits with Strata, Okta, Ansible, Snyk, and a new developer and engineer hire coming in 2023. Yeah, that's kind of why I don't like. So those are the things that aren't that do nothing for me. They do something for me, but not the thing you want me to do. Yeah, so I feel your pain. So, oh my gosh, could you imagine like budget approvals, audits, tech stacks? Yeah, does not sound fun. Just give me the tech and let me do my thing. And then when it comes to, I'm okay with auditing type stuff and understanding that, but some of the other stuff there, I'm just kind of like, even just management in general. Like I like, don't get me wrong. Like I love collaborating with other engineers, even mentoring if needed, and even being mentored and learning from other people. I love it. But people management is hard for me. And it's not because I don't like people. I just think I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I kind of understand. It's my personality. Like I trust people. I want to make people happy. That's just like my personality. And sometimes it's hard for me to deliver, critical feedback to anyone or anything. Sometimes, so that's tough for me. And that's part of being a manager. And so that's the part that I'm kind of, I would struggle with if I were a manager. So I've always just stayed down the tech path, unless it's like an informal or formal mentorship, because I like that too. But that's, really focused on a job or your career. So good luck, Penguin Airlines. I'm glad somebody's there doing it. I'm going with Kaitioya. Has anyone played with deploying teleport on their lab? I have not yet. I haven't. No. Geeky Rand, yes. And also disparagingly, no. Yeah, I know what you mean. That was a lot going on in that message. That was like, oh, if you are, a manager, or a tech lead where you have to, think about those kinds of things. Oof, that's tough. That was Debbie Downer right there, reminding people about year-end stuff plus New Year's stuff. This is a happy stream. I'm just teasing, man. Good to see you, Penguin Airlines. JC Extra, our entire /28 got blocked by Semantic Broncom just because some other people above and below abused the ranges out of our control, and nothing I've been able to do about it in 5+ years. Come on, 5+ years. Ooh, they need to get on it. Because yeah, that's like, hey, that like someone's just ignoring. So I feel like whatever you've been trying to do is just filed in spam for some reason. 5 years, crazy. Hopefully they're I don't know, at least communicating with you. If they stop communicating, you have to wonder like, are they even getting my messages? Wild. Flick is bad. I accidentally passed through both of my network adapters and setting up PFN. Yeah, so I know where this is going. Because I've heard this a lot, especially in that video that I did. People are passing through their primary NIC to a guest machine. They're like, I can't access Proxmox anymore. It's like, well, yeah, because you don't have a NIC anymore assigned to the host. And that's what you did, but you did it with two. Yeah, you have to keep a management interface still for your Proxmox server. So you minimum, 2 NICs, I think. You could go more, but a minimum of 2, and treat that one NIC as your management interface. I recommend even going 3, so that one's your management NIC, one gets maybe passed through directly, and then having another one that is your in and out for all of your guests. Basically, your Linux bond for your virtual switch, which is a Linux bond for all of those guest machines, then go in and out through that one. But you don't have to go that far. I like to, though, to keep it all apart. Oh man. Okay, guys. I went way over. I gotta get rolling. I gotta get rolling on this rack migration. So I apologize. I would say I'm cutting it short, but no, I'm actually cutting it long, a little bit longer. Started late and I ended a lot later than normal. So, anyways, super fun. So I'm gonna look real quick, just because. Let me see. I'm gonna look for something. I apologize. There's so many comments. I appreciate it. So, anyways, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for spending, roughly an hour with me on Saturday. I really appreciate it. If you have something you want to share or want to tell me or need some feedback on, throw it in Discord. There's a ton of people in our Discord that probably can answer the question a lot better than me. But if you think something needs my attention, feel free to ping me. But, obviously anyone's welcome to respond. If you want to follow along on my server migration, I think I'm gonna my server rack migration. I think I'm gonna start a thread here in a little bit on Twitter and just kind of document it there, and it'll also help me go back and think about like how I talk about it later. We'll see, good or bad. And then I will be back here. Ooh, I should I'll say that I should be back here next Saturday. Only because I'm going out of town for a little bit. I'm not sure if I'll be back by then. Anyways, I'll keep you posted in Discord and let you know. So, and then I'll definitely have something out for you on YouTube soon. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There was so many follows, so many new subscribers, resubscribers, gifted subs. Thank you so much. It's more than I could ask for. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you want to join in the fun, join our Discord server. It's I was just talking about it. Roughly, we're very close to 8,000 members, I think, in our Discord server. So yeah, absolutely join in the fun. Lots going on there. A lot of very smart people talking about things that they're working on or things that they need help with. It doesn't always need to be help. You're welcome to share anything there. And yeah, so have a good rest of the day. And I'll see you next week, possibly. And be good to each other. Take care, folks.